So just here, I've got some wheels, some springs, an axle and some other bits and pieces. Oh, and I've got a box of stuff here. There. So this is the start of my next project. I've also got a heap of steel, look. So this video is going to be all about making the trailer, which has actually got a tilting flatbed on it. So it's going to be lots of time lapse, lots of welding, and I'm going to let you know lots of helpful tips and tricks that I'm doing on it. So the next stage of the bobber vlog and what it's going to evolve into is well underway, especially with this trailer. Because with the trailer I'm going to be able to get to other drag strips. I'm going to get a lot more involved with developing the bike for drag racing and stuff. So the trailer's a really handy addition. Right, I've just stuck the wheels on it as well so that I can see how much clearance I'm going to have with all this stuff here with my suspension and my springs and stuff. So I can work out how wide my actual chassis needs to be. I already cut 2 bits of it here, well 3 bits, 4 bits even. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm getting the 2 frame rails parallel, and then I've got to get them the right, so they're next to each other, and I do that by getting this crossbar here 90 degrees. And then just here, this is where I'm going to actually bend the chassis rail, and them two are going to point together at the front where the drawbar is. Rather than actually cutting it and welding the whole thing, I'm still going to have one side which is solid, so it's nice and smooth on the outside. Right, I've worked it out. To get the angle I want for this bend, I have to cut a slot here which is 14mm wide this way. I do a lot of my working out through Adobe Illustrator, and this is how I worked out how much metal I need and stuff like that, because I draw it roughly out on Illustrator, and then I can move it around and measure stuff and work it out like that. So what do we want? We want that on 7mm there. $14mm there. That's the shape we need to cut to get our angle right. I'm going to try it on a bit scrap piece first before I start chopping this bit up. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go for it on this piece of metal. So the most important thing is that this line here, the fold line, is exactly 90 degrees to the rest of it, so that when I actually cut the cuts up to it, when I bend it, it doesn't twist the frame horns, so that they're that looks pretty good. It might be a little bit big, that cut, but that's not a problem. I can fill that in with the weld quite easily, and it could even actually come, it probably has got to go that way a bit more. See, I'm pleased with that. Right, now I've got them angles cut. Instead of welding this cross member in first, because I want to be able to get to them welds, I'm just going to put some temporary braces on it to keep it all together, so that way I've got room to weld these and get that bit perfectly in the middle. So what I've just done here is, first of all, I tack these pieces in place to get it parallel, and I made sure that they're 90 degrees so that they're both in the same place, and to get them parallel at the back. Then I tacked in that centerpiece, which is dead in the center. I've just measured it so that I can bring my two front frame rails into it, so I know where the center is. Right, so now in theory this should be perfectly centralized. I might go and buy a laser to check it, but there again, it's not that crucial because it's only a single axle trailer with one towing point, so there's not going to be a wheel alignment problem. And I'm going to be using my trusty Arc Captain MiG 200 for all the welding in this video. There's a link in the description to Arc Captain, and if you use the promotion code I'll give you there, you can get 5% off, and it helps the channel too. Right, let's get the first proper weld done with the Arc Captain MiG 200. Can I see what I'm doing? Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, it's alright. I had to stop in the middle to make sure I was going in the right direction because I can't see very well anymore. But that's burnt in well. It's a little bit cold at the top, but yeah, it's not too bad. I'd just like to say at this point as well, I'm not a professional welder, so that's why my welds aren't perfect and they're a bit of a mess. Plus I can't really see what I'm doing very well anymore. But I've never really had any proper training for welding. I'm totally self-taught. I actually learned welding up rusty cars for MOTs in England a long time ago. That's a different sort of welding altogether, that is. But having my Art Captain MiG 200 really helps me because it's such an easy welder to use. I would like to actually take a proper welding course and get really good at it at some point, but I don't have the time or money to do that at the moment. So that's something else for the future. I've actually ground these welds down, but I'm going to weld the cross member in here, and then I'm going to put a gusset both sides, which is going to give it a lot of strength. This bit here is pretty important. This is the bit which was across there, holding that together. Now I'm actually going to weld it in right up the front here permanently. Simple solution really. Clamp something up there. Right, now. That is what the front of the bed's going to sit on, and there's going to be something similar down the side, so the whole bed will actually roll along it. So the quality controller's here now, just preparing. What do you reckon, J-Face? Good? Yeah, okay. So I've just tacked that into place. That's me. This bit is the bed which the bearings are going to roll on. I've just taken the corner off of that piece there so that it butts up nicely against that weld there. I need to take a little bit of material off here as well. I don't have a drop saw or a band saw, so I'm having to mark all these out with the square by hand and cut them with the disc on the angle grinder. I do want to get a drop saw and put a good blade in it so I can cut the steel really well, but I don't have the money for that at the moment. So this channel is all about being able to make a plan and get by without having to buy all the expensive stuff. Here I'm now going to start welding the frame for the bed together, which is this bit here, which is going to drop between these rails here, so the whole bed can go up and down in between the frame rails. And I'm actually going to assemble it on the trailer just to keep it all straight and everything at 90 degrees. Here I've just got a bolt with a bearing, my bearing on it, and I've actually welded a washer to stop it going all the way along. And that is going to be the bearing for the front of the bed there. So I'll just weld that axle in there at the right point, and then the bed will slide up and down. So now everything's tacked in place. I've tacked the suspension in place. I've got the A-frame where I want it. I've actually got this cross member properly welded in. And now I've figured out that the rollers on the bed and everything are going to work, and where I need stuff and what size and shape it is. So now I've just got to pull it to bits again and just get welding. These bits here are made out of 25 by 50 for strength, because that's where the bearing sits. So this takes the load of the bed. So I've made them out of this thicker stuff, because that's actually a thicker wall. I was going to just plate the top, but then I thought it looked stupid. So then I thought I'd just cut an angle there, which would look alright. But I thought, no, I'll make a real nice job of it and take the angle all the way down to there. It's a lot more work, but it will look a lot cooler. So that's my new mount compared with the old one. That's much prettier. So I've given these bits which hold that cross member a bit of that treatment as well, so they look a little bit prettier. And I've also welded these plates here in. They are for the leaf spring. So that when a leaf spring slides backwards and forwards, it doesn't wear through the chassis. It's got that extra bit of meat there. Yeah, that's not too bad. It's probably about the limit of the wire size for that size metal. Another bit of scrap I had laying around. And I'm actually working in here now as well, because the grinding is pretty loud and the neighbours were getting their knickers in a twist, or panties in a bunch, as you Americans like to say. So I'm going to use this as a workshop more now, and also I've got plans for out there, because grinding, I have got a lot of grinding to do and it is an irritating noise, but there's no need to carry on like an abusive 4-year-old swearing and carrying on, especially when you're a 60-something-year-old man. So I didn't film that because that's not what you want to see, or maybe you do want to see that. Let me know in the comments. This is something I've been thinking about for a while, actually, turning this place down here into more of a workshop. And this is how things evolve, going through little bits of adversity. You'd have to adapt and make a plan, and then things get better, which is hopefully what's happening now. But I'll show you what I've been working with. So that there, that's the site you normally used to see in the Bobber Vlog studio. And I've normally got a pool table in the middle here, but I've now moved it over there. That's actually the checker plate for the bed of the trailer, the old trusty MiG 200. I've got a bit of a bathroom and washing room in there, and this has been through all sorts of things. This used to be a bit of a party place down here, but out here is also where you see me make quite a few videos. Is this bit out here. But as you can see, it's open, which is really nice. I love working down here, but it is a bit noisy for everybody else, and this is where you normally see me make a lot of stuff as well. So but I'm thinking about enclosing all this, having some doors there, and I can actually fit a car in this bit here. And I've also been working on a trailer out here because it's got quite a flat surface, but it's very close to next door, so that's loud as well. So now I've got that where I need it, I can actually move back down to my shed down there and do some welding and grinding down there where it's not going to make so much noise. But this is what I'm working with. I really need a proper workshop. But that's a long-term plan as well, to actually buy a new place with a big bit of land and a big workshop. So this is what I'm working out of at the moment. I've got some LED lights up here as well, so it's quite bright. It's quite a good area here for doing welding stuff. Right, so these are the edges of the or this is the back end of the tray. This is where it's going to sit on the floor. That's why I've angled it like that. I did actually film myself cutting and welding all that, but I lost the footage somehow. But that's where we're up to. I've also got some holes drilled all the way through because that's where I'm going to have some pins which are going to secure the back end, because there's no weight, there's nothing holding the weight of the back end of this tray bed up apart from the bearing which is over there. So this is all overhang, so I'm going to have some pins here to make it more secure. Right, this cross member I've welded in, it's either too high or too far back, but I don't want to put it forward anymore because I want to tie these two frame rails in together. So I'm going to lose a little bit of ground clearance, but I'm going to go a little bit lower because the bed's actually hitting on it there. Well, it's still actually only going to be the height of the axle, so that's okay. But here you can see how I had that cross member in the wrong place. I need to drop it down 20 mil or so, maybe 30, so it misses that. I didn't have any 50 by 50 to extend this cross member, make it lower, so I've just welded two bits of 25 by 50 together, and then that will go up there like that, and it make that lower. So now, this is that cross member pretty good, look. Look at that, beautiful. Some of the footage that I had that got lost was me making these gussets and welding these in, but you get the idea. So that's where we're up to with the trailer at the moment. Bit of a long video of welding bits of metal together and stuff, but I love watching videos like that for a long time, and if you're still here watching this now, you're probably one of them people too, so it's all good. So in the next trailer video, I'm going to be welding a load of bracing in for the bed there, and I'll be putting a checker plate on top. I've got to make wheel arches for it, put lights and stuff on it, finish the drawbar. And the most important bit probably is sort out a winch to make the mechanism all work. So that's next week or so, I'll be doing that. So don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Oh, and check out Art Captain too. They have a 2-year warranty, 30-day money-back guarantee and lifetime support. And if you use the link in the description, you get 5% off. So check that out. And have a great day.